Hello, this is Sheshashan from Astrologer Mysore. So we have been doing a series of planets and its positions in different zodiac signs or houses. We are not doing it in signs, we are doing it for houses. So we have done Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Mercury, and now today we are in Jupiter. And today we are talking about Jupiter in the 8th house and its results from the Ascendant. So once again I'll repeat, it is the 8th house, not the 8th sign only, because there are in many different methodologies. In my methodology I use the bhava, in which it might be a single sign if the ascendant is placed at 15 degrees in the sign wherever it is placed, but it can also be dual signs, that is two signs, not dual signs, two signs, because of the ascendant's placement. If it is in the edge of a sign, then what will happen is two signs will be sharing the same house. But we are concerned about the 8th house results here, not the signs. We will talk about the signs and Jupiter's placement in the signs, Jupiter's placement in different nakshatras in the upcoming videos. But today we are seeing Jupiter's placement in the 8th house and its results. I have made a list of points, main points. I am not going into the whole lot of Jupiter, because Jupiter itself has around 220 Karakatvas as per the Uttar Kalamrita, Kalidasa's Uttar Kalamrita. And if you congregate from Bruhat Jataka, from Bruhat Parashara Hora Shastra, from Uttar Kalamrita, from Paladipika, so many other treaties of earlier days, these are all epics for astrology. So if we congregate, we will get more than 1000 characteristics. So we cannot explain all that, but the main important characteristics for today's world. If Jupiter is in the 8th house and it is a benefic, you know that the person will be very modest. He will be something like a benefactor to many people. He will not be selfish at all. He will be selfless. So that is why it is called modest, one word. If it is malefic, posited along with Rahu, cumbers, debilitated, going through a lot of difficulties, and I am telling you, because this is about the character of a person. So if this is malefically posited, that is Jupiter is malefically posited in the 8th house, and the Lagnadipati is weak, that is the ascendant lord is weak. So you should have two main strong negatives. Then the person will have a bloated ego. I am everything, I am supreme, I listen to me. I can listen to you, but first you listen to me. So that command and that supremacy will be there, but it will not be of great importance. It will be bloated, unnecessarily bloated. It's like a balloon. There is no stuff inside. It's simply bloated. So, or we'll also call it as bloated confidence or overconfidence. So what all happens when a person becomes modest or a person becomes overconfident. The negatives and the positives. If it is benefically posited, we all know that the 8th house is opposite to the 2nd house. So that means from the 8th, Jupiter aspects the 7th aspect. Jupiter, if for example, if Jupiter is placed, let us say Jupiter is placed here. Let us say it is in Scorpio and this is the ascendant. I am just giving an example. What happens is Jupiter aspects the 2nd house, and that is wealth. Obviously good investments. They will make a lot of good money. 8th house Jupiter, if it is strongly posited, this person will be very wealthy. Not just wealthy, very wealthy. So from there, Jupiter also has the 5th aspect, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is the 12th house. And what is 12th house? Being religious, being pious, being respectful. That is why this word modest has come. Because we give more importance to the 12th house rather than the wealth. The character is from the 12th and the Lagna and the 5th house. But here the 12th house is of utmost importance because Jupiter aspects it. So this is the 5th aspect. So the 9th aspect of Jupiter is on the 4th house. 4th house is for property. Property what you have made. not the property what we have got. So these people can build very good houses, mansions actually, big ones. So they are blessed if it is benefic and the Lagnadipati is strong. Okay, good investments. They can do investments in banks, in many other sectors. They can be investors. Investors does not have to, they do not have to know the subject. If they have the trust on that industry, they can go for investments. So they can be good market investments. Investors like we call them in banking terms like sleeping partners. Like they do not go for the job. They don't go there and do anything there, but they are just putting their money into the company. So but understand, if it is benefic, this money will grow. If it is malefic, this particular thing will happen. Long-term stagnation of funds. Money will go and get locked. That will be a fraud company, it might be. Or it might be a company which might suddenly go under loss. Or it might be a company where, the whole team is struggling to somehow make profit. So you will have to wait for the return on investment. This ROI is a very important point for people who are having Jupiter in the 8th. They want the return. What is the fun investing money and you don't get returns? So Jupiter in the 8th house means that they have a craving from inside that they want to double whatever they are having. But if you are going to do it in the easy way, like I have written here somewhere else, so easy money making, it's also in the same thing that you will get into litigations, you will get into long-term stagnation. Money will get stuck somewhere, and if you have taken that money from somebody else and put it there, you are in trouble. Because that other person will not know whether you have invested or not. He will think that you have used that money and he will ask it back. So you will get stuck there. So this is where this is where people get into litigations. They have borrowed some money because they will have sat in a meeting with their friends or whoever the investors are. Oh, such a beautiful, lucrative thing. You put 5 rupees here, I'll get 500. 100 times profit. So what he'll do, he'll run around, take money from everybody whom he knows, brings that and gives it to this guy, and this guy runs away. Finally, what happens? He has to return it back. So he's got caught in between now. This guy has run away now. So all the trust fails. So that is why people who are having malefic Jupiter in the 8th house, and if the ascendant is not strong, please have a good advisor, an financial advisor for investments. Do not do it yourself thinking that you are great, having a lot of brain. Parental property. 8th house is good parental property. People will get excellent smooth transfer of parental property in their names. If it is having a malefic Jupiter, then the 8th house will have litigations with regard to parental property. Longevity. Jupiter is a slow moving planet. It's a slow moving planet, SMP. So because it's a slow moving planet, and if it is a benefic Jupiter in the 8th house, like an exalted Jupiter in the 8th house for Sagittarius, good benefic Jupiter. This is also a benefic Jupiter in the Scorpio. So if it is a 8th house Jupiter and it is a benefic, person will easily cross Purnayu. And what is Purnayu? Something between 65 and 100. So this number of years. So anything between 65 and 100 is known as Purnayu. That is full term life. So that is given to these people, blessed. But if it is malefically posited, Ayu will be protected, longevity will be protected, it will be something between 65 to 100 only, but along with these problems, chronic health problems of the liver, chronic health problems of the kidney, chronic health problems of breathing, Jupiter also is for obesity, lot of knee pain, joint pains, because Jupiter, Rahu, Saturn, these fellows give joint pain. So many other combinations are required for all that, but still, health problems of chronic in nature and added with longevity, nobody wants that. Why does a person want to live a long number of years with lot of suffering? Nobody wants to live. But if you are having a negative Jupiter in the 8th house, the first thing for you to do is yoga. The first thing for you to do is stay far away from chemicals. But please, if I tell stay far away from chemicals, that does not mean that you should leave your prescribed medicine and then tell that because I have 8th Lord Jupiter and in a 8th house Jupiter, I will leave away all the medicines. No, don't do all that. It's very dangerous to suddenly stop prescribed medicines. So continue your prescribed medicines, but do yoga. Nowhere in the world it is told that you should not do yoga. If you are having some problems like heart problems, if you are having some brain issues, if you have gone through some operations, if you are not fit to do yoga, that's a different issue. But still, I have seen that many people can do some or the other asana, though they are having some physical health conditions. But still, if people are normal and if your health is slowly deteriorating, do yoga, your health will become perfectly normal. So this will be taken care of by only one thing, that is yoga. And seriously do yoga. People who are normal and people who can do sustained yoga for every day, sustained practice, then do it at least for 2 hours per day. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, and I'll tell you, you will never be troubled by 8th house Jupiter. Hatha Yoga, people who have an aim and who want to do sadhana, that is to achieve something in life, benefic Jupiter will give them Hatha Yoga, that is they will have extraordinary focus on what they have to do. Same thing becomes something else when it is negative. They become very stubborn, extremely stubborn. They do not want to listen to you. They will be in their own shell. They will think whatever they are doing is right for them and they do not want to come out of it. They will become introverts. People who are here are also silent. A benefic, strong Jupiter makes a person silent because of wisdom, not because of, ignorance. This is because of wisdom. This is because of ignorance. And it is also because of lethargy. So, in ignorance, lethargy with introversion and also stubbornness, just imagine that person. What good he can do for himself. It's a very big negative package. This is an extremely good package for the society because he is a Hatha Yogi, he is silent, has lot of wisdom, that is Viveka, so he will write, he will preach, he will, do so many things good for the society because he knows what is to be done for that present world. So, the fifth point is of utmost importance. People keep asking me that, I have seen tendencies that when Jupiter has gone to the 8th house, people have the tendencies of getting married to, a widow or a widow or an elder spouse, 5 years elder, 3 years elder. They keep asking that, sir, I am a girl, my boy is, the person whom I want to marry is 6 years younger to me. Shall I get married? So, if you see the chart and if it is beneficially positive, marriage is beautiful. Why not? Nothing wrong in that if you are marrying an elder spouse. So, relationship with elder person. I think I gave a reverse example. If the girl is marrying a boy who is 10 years, 15 years elder to her, I just told the other way around. The boy wants to marry a girl who is 5 years or 6 years more than him, then it works out. Nothing wrong in that. See, the queryist will have the 8th house Jupiter, which is benefic, will always have a tendency to marry an elder person. What if the other way around? If it is negatively posited, they can have, sometimes it is illicit, but I will not tell always it is illicit. Sometimes there are too much, lot of attraction towards elder person. To fall into relationship with an elder person, the elder person might be married in some other relationship. So these things can happen, affairs. So, but that's not good. It will just look rosy on the first day, but it's the most dangerous thing to happen. So, 8th house Jupiter, malefically posited, do not unnecessarily fall prey to these things. They are industrious. If it is benefic, excellent position for opening industries to make very good gains in, big industries, not small ones, big ones, where you will have employed hundreds and 200s or thousands of people, like garment industries, like many other industries, like packaging industries, marketing industries, even banking sectors, investment banks, so finances. So this is a very good position for Jupiter benefic in the eighth house. Again, in the negative side, it is over anticipation. They want, but the right effort is not there. Less effort and directionless because they do not have the focus. The brain is not fully functioning because the wisdom is not there. It is off because of ignorance, and because of all this, they get stuck into many businesses, and it's very difficult for them to come out of it. So, before deciding going into business, people who are having 8th house Jupiter, please consult, an astrologer, or you consult a financial advisor before going into any business. Simply do not take a decision because you're, had some parental property or some money came because you sold a house. You think that I have so much of money, I'll do something. That something will become something else and you will not have it in your pocket. At least you could have used it. You will not have even used it. So overconfidence and over anticipation will give you anxiety and then again difficulty. The house of occult, the 8th house, is the best position for Jupiter to make a person an astrologer. Why it's the best position? Because it is the 5th from the 4th and 4th from the 5th. This is the 4th house, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is the 5th from the 4th, and if this is the 5th house, it is the 4th from the 5th. So what is 5 from 4 and 4 from 5? Very beautiful. It is 4th is education, qualification, and 5th is higher education and higher qualification. 5th is education, once again, which is of a different thing in nature. This is called qualification, this is called knowledge, real skill. And 4th from it is happiness, sukha. So you will be very happy to do whatever you are doing. So an astrologer with a benefic Jupiter in the 8th house will be excellent because he will have that intuition power. Because intuition has to be seen from both 6th and the 8th houses, even the 12th house. All these dark houses will give intuition. So astrologer is an excellent job for these people. Negative, these people become superstitious. Unnecessarily they will think that, there are so many practices in the society which sometimes looks like a taboo, but if you go to that particular community, they will tell that no, this has to be done, In some communities, I have seen these things. These are actually banned in some countries. Even in India, it is banned. Some people making somebody eat on a stone floor, telling that this dosha will go away if you eat rice on a stone floor. Why should anybody clean the temple floor where people were walking, put some water, clean it? And I have seen people eating rice directly from there. For me, it looks like it is superstitious. Man, it is wrong. Why does it do it? What does he gain from it? He's actually trying to eat food with some dust. That's what I feel. But if you go and ask them, they will tell that you are mad or what? This is our regular practice. We have to do this in our religion. If we do this, then this fellow will be fine in his life. So their beliefs, which we call as superstitious beliefs, are very deep into every community and every religion and across the world. So this will be very deep into them if Jupiter is in the 8th house and malefic. This, if it is benefic, the person will be in his own world of perceptions, but in the right way. He can write novels, he can write beautiful novels where he will have his, that fertile imagination, the creativity is so nice that he will have his perception very clearly cut out. The same perceptions will all fail and be into shambles when we go to the negative side, where person goes into fear of failure and anxiety because he doesn't know what he is doing. He's totally, utterly confused. So this is what Jupiter gives when you are in the, when Jupiter is in the 8th house in the chart.
So one question.
Yeah.
Like if it is benefic, can the person become a yoga teacher?
Obviously, yes. 8th house is for Hatha Yoga and also physical yoga practice. So 8th house is the 3rd from the 6th. I have forgotten this particular point. It is the 3rd from the 6th house. 6, 7, 8. So 6th house is service and 8th house is activity. 6th house is Rogasthana and 8th house is an activity which will not give you Roga. So that means you do yoga when Jupiter is in the 8th house, Mars in the 8th house and Jupiter is in the 8th house. I keep telling people you can be excellent sports person, you can be very good yoga teachers. Jupiter in the 8th house, he will also be a Vedic knowledgeable, astrologically knowledgeable, Ayurvedic knowledge will be there, diet and nutrition knowledge will be there. He is Sarvantrayami, he will have a lot of knowledge.
Full
and
package.
if he has, he is a full package. If he has yoga with him, obviously it's a great thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much for today's class and hope this has covered a lot of subjects. Thank you.
Please subscribe our channel for the upcoming videos.
Thank you.